Daily Trends or your trending news channel. Sabri and Sema Bekayansa Yemura and Sema.
A picture that we're starting this conversation with, and taking into consideration the fact that what is happening in Burkina Faso, this is what we're having to face. 75% or more of our tomato needs come from Burkina Faso. The government of that country has decided to look inward. A troubling development, Council, you say? I'll start with you on
well, I always believe that they say what? Behind every cloud, there's a silver lining, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I like the way the Deputy Agri Minister is put it, John Dumelo, that it's an opportunity for us to then also step up. Yeah, because we can't continue to be fed by Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is essentially Sahelian, dry land.
But they are doing something right.
Exactly, and we are here speaking big English. I always say that, Ghana, it looks like the moment you go to university, okay, you finish university, when we are counting, excuse my language, but it's good we confront it, fools or stupid people, you are not in because you have a university degree. That's just how it appears. And so it permeates through the way we do our things. So the moment you go to university, then generally it's like, oh, agric is not for you. Agric is for the other persons who haven't made it to university, etc. Largely, I'm talking about the perception. But we also know that the reality is that even the president, even the executive secretary, Kalisus Mama, etc., Minta Kando, and other ministers are big time, big shots. So the more you see your president on the farm, and that's one thing I have against Bawumia. I remember the last I said that it's good that Christian is here. I said, Bawumia, you come from the north. For 8 years, I never saw Bawumia in a picture on a farm. I was like, I lived in the north, right? Part of my lineage is from there. Who went to farm? If you come from the north, 8 years, there's no picture. I get them.
So is that to say that we'll find out if he has a farm?
I haven't seen. No,
but if the fact that you didn't see him on a in a picture on a farm may not necessarily mean that he doesn't have a farm.
No, but that's bad. So that's what I'm saying. The handless. So
we have this problem.
So you need to project. No, let me say. Let me
tokens. You don't
it's
want
not
really
tokens. No, it's not tokens.
Okay, gentlemen.
It's how you socialize. It's not tokenism. It's you know this guy, what do you call the peanut farmer, the US president, or the Christian one, Jimmy Carter. Yeah, Jimmy Carter was a peanut farmer. Yeah, he was trained as a Navy engineer, etc. Right? Sorry?
So all our presidents,
it goes a long way.
And when you have medical problems, all of them should be doctors.
Oh no, that's what they have.
And when you have transport problems, all of them should be.
It goes a long way. Well, that's your thinking, but it goes a long way when you project big people. So what did I say? I was saying big people in what? Agriculture. So that the teeming youth who have no jobs will see that, oh, it's not as denigrating as we think. Okay? Yeah. Denigrate. Yeah. That's what it is. So it means that yes, you can go to uni, you can be PhD, and I've seen a lot of PhD farmers. That's why I said let's have a dedicated program for them so that we can continue to show those people. Then as the youth see then it will help erase the thinking that farming is for those who haven't made it to uni. It's a strong perception. You can't wipe it away. So that's different from what Kofi and Akusi are thinking. You get the message, your candidate, please. We are not talking politics. I'm just showing you a practical example that the leader should lead. This is what we mean by leadership by example. Yes, leadership by example, right? Yeah, because I mean, look at the land. We have so much land. Akumadan, of course, the tomatoes herb of Ghana. Right? There's a lot of arable land there.
Right.
You go to the north, via irrigation farms. Yeah, farm improvement time. Yeah, they did a lot of irrigation, tono, etc. Other parts of the north. So, in one word, we have no excuse. Even people who are in deserts, Israel, Burkina Faso, they are doing serious agriculture, and we are here and doing all manner of things and thinking that because we speak English everything is fine. That's why I said there's a bit of laziness in the whole approach, because if we were hard working enough, I'm sure by now we would have psyched up our teeming youth to go into agriculture. Yes, there's a matter of capital. I'm aware. So when I say go in, I'm not saying go in bare-handed. No, go in with government support. Yeah. Remember the NDC administration, the first one. Now the head of the Community Water Sanitation Agency, Vincent Kuabini. You know, when he was in charge of the National Service in the first GM's first administration, they did an excellent job. The National Service Farm that they had those years, they did it very well. I remember seeing them on TV, and the man was ruthless. So I remember even when GM came the second time, I thought, oh, that's where they will send him back to, so that you help to ramp up agriculture. So the thing is that it's humiliating for us as a nation. It's very humiliating. We can't have natural resources like this and still be hungry. The tomatoes import is just this is the tip of the iceberg. We know about poultry, we know about rice, we know about etc. And that's why in 2016 we brought in what? Ekufuado, because he said, oh, that's the Gettysburg economy. You know, we export cocoa, the gold, etc. And then we end up using our money to buy rice, poultry, oil, right? And that's why he said he would dismantle in what? 18 months. And that sounded very laudable. It looked like the game changer. The game changer. We brought him in for 8 years. At the time they were going, the poultry industry had apparently collapsed. So we had reversed. Yes, that's why I asked the poultry people. By the time you guys were leaving, the poultry industry had virtually collapsed. So the thing is that, and you know, from Kwame Nkrumah's 7-year development plan, you check from independence, this matters. They bedeviled us, despite everything that Kwame Nkrumah did. You know, there's also the part about the Ghanaians' insatiable appetite for foreign goods. You see the tomatoes, now they're showing that, oh, the Burkina Faso one has what? More fiber. Ours is watery. Well, it's difficult, but you know, sometimes we have to patronize what we produce. Like Dan Latte said, domestication.
There's a challenge there. If you the domestication and then also loving your country, how does that influence consumer demand or consumer preferences? Because it is what you can afford that you use your money for, not so much about how patriotic you are. So you are looking out for a quality item, is it not? An item that's nutritious. The reason why you will have even the traders tell you that free Burkina if you go to the market, because they would tell you that it's rich in fiber. They'll give you the ingredients. And you have some from Abidjan pepper or something of the sort. We're importing all sorts of things. So that's where the issue is, because they're also selling to you what they know is of a certain quality.
Good. It's not to say that ours is of an inferior quality, but I understand it's about the shelf life, the longevity. So the watery one apparently spoils, like you say locally or colloquially, faster than the one with the higher fiber. That's my understanding of it. So it means that we have to look at what? Processing, the value chain. So we have to look at processing. That will help to curb. But we can't say that, oh, just because this is watery, we shun that. It's like the debate about rice. So I can tell you that, look, I don't buy foreign rice. No, not in my house, of course, where, you know, the women control. But anytime I have the opportunity, it's all about local rice. So we still come back to that behavioral change, because we've been accustomed, a lot of people, that, oh, it's a foreign one that's better. They will say, oh, perfumed rice.
Okay.
All right? So, and in terms of the quality, you know, we've developed some local varieties that are now coming up. I hear it's called Kwabna. Yeah, Kwabna.
Yeah, tomatoes is called Kwabna.
Yeah, yesterday I followed, there's a Dutch professor who came in and they've done some work. So I understand now with our Kwabna, hopefully when they scale up, we should be fine in terms of looking for higher fiber, right? Yeah.
Let me welcome Alice. You've heard his voice already, but it's just for good reason I have to officially acknowledge his presence. Kofi Bentsil is Vice President of Imani Africa. He's a private legal practitioner, and he has love for Ghana and an undiluted love for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
And that's where he gets it wrong.
No, please. Lawyer Kofi Bentsil. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Don't mind this man.
You go into oblivion. That's right.
Wait. Please.
Good. So I'll waste my time on the point, but just you see, when we get to it, I also looked around the thing. The problem sometimes we have, and on the issue of tomato, is tokenism. Sometimes we don't want to deal with the problem. You want the president to go and work on a farm because tomorrow you have transport problems, you should become a transport. Tomorrow you have let's drop that. But since he uses the early times to do his politics, see, it's not on the topic. There are a few things that nowadays when I see.
If you look at the number of young people, and this is the original distribution of the rate of unemployment. Look at that. Everybody is looking for some office job to do. Where is the problem? Is it a policy disconnect or the lack of investment in the agri sector to, as it were, grow a lot more agricultural entrepreneurs who are business minded and not just farming for their small family, feed them and move forward? Please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Good morning to your viewers and happy Eid to everyone.
Thank you.
The Burkina Faso problem, for me, it spells a national security risk at the very least. Why am I saying this? We have a situation where we have not gotten to a level where we even have self-sufficiency when it comes to tomato production or its growth. The saddest thing was just a couple of weeks ago where young people went up, to Burkina Faso. Whatever reasons people ascribe to them losing their lives, at the end of the day, it happened.
True.
The fact also is that we can't grow tomatoes in Ghana. There are parts in the upper west where it's rife and great for us to produce. At least when it comes to intentionality of policy, as you describe it, between 2017 and 2024, there were 2 programs, Planting for Food and Jobs 1 and 2. As to whether it succeeded enough for us to get at least to self-sufficiency, we didn't ultimately get there, but we made some progress. As we speak, and I think the data as of last year puts tomato imports at a cost of $400 million, which is ridiculous. Again, on intentionality, at least the previous government saw it wise to improve or to undertake industrialization under the 1D1F policy. So it is not about holding a tomato to stand on a farm that makes somebody a great leader like lawyer Martin Kimbu was suggesting. It's the leader who says that let's move from growing to value addition, and that is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia proposes, and this was evident through 1D1F and the several factories that went up that are currently, I believe, gathering dust. We'll have to do a special, analysis on that. So there's opportunity for employment if this government prioritizes or continues at least in that state. Why? Because factories at least create opportunities for employment. There was when it came to a poultry farmers conversation, I recall it got to a time that prices for maize in the country were somewhat low, so farmers decided to export. Local poultry farmers had a challenge sourcing feed for birds, and when birds don't get fed, ultimately they will die. So what government has to do, and it's Burkina Faso has literally, what they've done, if they haven't given it a name, is saying that they are doing Burkina Beyond Aid. That's what they're actually doing. This is something that was an aspiration for us that we repeatedly said wasn't a one-time event, that was a process that we all had to take up and champion and see it to the ultimate end. It doesn't take 3 months, 4 months to attain self-sufficiency in tomato production. But what clearly is a threat to us now is the fact that we need tomatoes is the base for a lot of food, for stews. What's going to happen in the next couple of months? As we speak, even with the homegrown tomatoes, like you said, too much water or fiber, those farmers are complaining that even if they had to move it to the farms, it takes 36 hours from the north to get it down south to the farms.
Hey.
Akumadan tomatoes, I don't think is enough to even sustain a region, let alone the entire country. So this is a national security crisis. Burkina Faso didn't end at tomatoes. They've also added eggs, to the point where farmers that have supplied to them are not sure they are going to be paid. So it's a problem. What are we going to do in the immediate? It is not Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia standing to pose with a tomato that will cure the problem, like you were trying to suggest. It's not the photo ops or the tokenism as Mr. Bentsil has lawyer Bentsil has also put it. At the end of the day, what is the intentionality this government has in at least pursuing planting for food and jobs? Because at the very least, that was an aspiration. At the very least, there was an attempt and there were some gains. So let's not do these petty things when it comes to the future of this country, especially when food security is concerned and when there's a national security threat looming as we speak. Opportunities are not there and they won't be there. Why? When it comes to jobs, when the president himself in parliament less than 3 weeks ago claims there are 1 million jobs created, only for Ghana Statistical Service to come out with a data of less than 300,000 jobs. Those are the realities. The buck stops with him. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not yet president, but when given the opportunity, he can be a fantastic president. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Bentsil, and Dr. Otokono, I'll come to you, and I'm having the guests speak to the issue because you will have to respond, right? Being the one holding the policy of government in this particular area that we're talking about, agriculture. This challenge is coming at a time when, even just about a month ago, when we had some of our women being at the receiving end of this terrorist attack that led to the unfortunately we lost some. This conversation came up, but it wasn't sustained because, well, it was an attack. We didn't have any indication that it was going to be a probable ban. Here we are with this. There's an indication of a negotiation so that the Burkinabe government would probably give us some level of consideration, because we're depending on them. About 80 to 90% of their tomato exports comes to Ghana. We're spending over $400 million on it. Beyond the negotiation, what should be the thinking?
Right, so there's a bigger conversation to be had on that, generally agriculture. I always refer to this work I did about almost 10 years ago. About that time, some people tried to revive the Legon Observer. That paper that, in the 80s was very, important. And they asked me to write something on agriculture and where we were on it. And so I did some research on it. And what I found was very simple but very profound. And it has always stayed with me. I've always mentioned it. The conclusion we came to, looking at where agriculture was in Ghana, was that we were going down on everything.